Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Fatihah binti Roslan from class AM1104C. So, my group and I will present about the 5 stages in the development of democracy in Malaysia. So, now I would like to introduce my group members, which is Nur Fatihah binti Roslan, Amalia Farisha binti Tarmizi, Nur Anissa Adha binti Kamarudin, Zahratuliana binti Al-Malik, Sohana binti Abdullah, and the last one is Nur Adlin Natasha binti Muhammad Zamani. So I would like to present about the introduction. First, democracy is being denoted the political system that existed in some great city-states known as Athens. Next, Western democracy as opposed to that which existed in the pre-modern cultures is widely thought to have its roots in the city-states like classical Athens and the Roman Republic, where numerous plans and levels of the enfranchisement of the female population were seen before the form vanished in the West at the start of late antiquity. Moreover, a political system that allows for free and fair elections to choose and replace the government, active citizen participations in the politics and civic life, protection of each individual's human rights and the rule of law, where all citizens are treated equally under the law, are the 4 main components of democracy. Lastly, the democracy is contrasted with forms of government where power is either held by an individual or held by a small number of individuals. So I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Amalia Farisha, and now I will present the first stage in the development of democracy in Malaysia, which is compromise and cooperation about Tunku Abdul Rahman. The first Prime Minister of Malaysia was Tunku Abdul Rahman, Putra Al-Haj Ibni Almarhum Sultan Abdul Hamid Halim Shah, and he was born on 8 February 1903 in Alustah, Kedah. He was also the Chief Minister of the Federation of Malaya from 1955 and the first Prime Minister since independence in 1957 until 1970. The formation of Malaysia in 1963 was one of his greatest achievements and commonly known as Tunku, and he is also remembered as Father of Independence, which is Bapa Kemerdekaan, and Father of Malaysia, which is Bapa Malaysia. However, the independence of Malaya fell in 1957. At that time, society was failed because political parties were based on ethnicity. Furthermore, the 1959 election was the first following the country's independence. This was set for August 1959 and with the nomination day on 15 July 1959. And the number of registered voters has increased dramatically and since 1955, and that totally which is 2,177,650 voters. As such, power sharing among the main ethnic political parties such as UMNO, FCA, and MIC is the same as the Parti Perikatan, or we call it Alliance Party. This is for political stability in Malaya. At this point, the political party for the opposition is very strong. Last but not least, which is contribution and tragedy 13 May. The first in contribution. Among Tunku Abdul Rahman, other contribution that he also contribute towards the development of Islam. Later, he also involved himself in anti-communism and pro-West, opposing the apartheid policy in the South Africa, proposing the Southeast Asian Association (ESA), and also as a founding member of ASEAN. And for the tragedy of 13 May, one of the reasons for the 13 May incident was the Malays felt they were falling behind economically, so the new economic policy was implemented. Other than that, the bitter election campaign curfew may be imposed immediately in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur. Furthermore, it took 2 years to recover until 1971 and so on. There are a lot of strategy to solve the conflicts, and one of this is making a new economic policy, which is in economy.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Anis Adha binti Kamaruddin and I would like to present about Compromise to Control, which is about Tun Abdul Razak Hussein, or known as Tun Razak. Tun Abdul Razak is our second Prime Minister, and this is a little profile about him. Tun Razak born on 11 March 2020 in Pekan Pahang, Malaysia. Tun Razak is second Prime Minister from 1970 until 1976, even though he's only held being Prime Minister for a short time, but his contribution during his time are still can be felt and seen today, and because of that, he's called as Father of Development. One of his contribution is Malaysian New Economic Policy. This Malaysian New Economic Policy has two objectives, which is reduce and eventually eradicate poverty. Also, to reduce and eradicate the association of racial and identity with economic function. In terms of economy, during Tun Razak leadership, Malaysia experienced high growth economic. Besides that, he also established agencies like MARA and PERNAS. In addition, he also established Petronas also, UKM for education purpose. In order to his policy emphasis on agricultural and rural development, he introduced the Green Book on 1974. This Green Book goals is to increase food supplies, generate income, and everyone can contribute and get benefit from country's progress. An agency like SIRIM and RISTA also formed in succeeding this policy. Tun Razak also set off guidelines for government officials working to develop rural areas. These plans include for roads, mosques, and other infrastructure. As a result of this effort, FELDA was established. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will talk about Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. He was born on 10 July 1925, raised in Alostar, Kedah. Dr. Mahathir has served from 16 July 1981 to 31st October 2003 as the 4th Prime Minister before becoming the country's 7th Prime Minister in May 2018. Tun Dr. Mahathir has been titled the Father of Malaysian Modernisation during his time serving as the 4th Prime Minister due to the strong economic growth under his reign. During his 30 years service, he established a strong administration, expanded the economy, and served as a voice and campaigner for third world developing countries. Mahathir became involved with UMNO, a Malaysian major political party, and was elected to the Supreme Council, a group of policy makers. British Bylaws Policy, BBLP was introduced by Tun Dr. Mahathir in 1981. BBLP was formed in reaction to some of the British grievances against Malaysia, and some had said that it's an effort to boycott non-Muslim products following the Buy Muslim Bumiputra First campaign. The policy only lasts for 18 months, but it managed to change Britain's attitude towards Malaysia. Next, LEP. LEP looking its policy was announced on January 8, 1982 during the 5th Majeka Joint Annual Conference at the Hilton Hotel in Kuala Lumpur. The policy is regarded as a political tactic directed primarily towards the Malay population in order to persuade Malay to change their attitude and thinking. This policy directs the government to study and research policies and examples of implementation from Japan and Korea with the goal of localizing an initiative to suit the condition in Malaysia. Mahathir has endeavoured to modernise the country with a variety of new ideas, programs and slogans that have received widespread support from Malaysians, with 5 essential components of Mahadirism, which is nationalism, capitalism, Islam, populism and authorism. It includes ideas gained from his political experience, such as those he backed early in his career and enacted after becoming the Prime Minister. Mahathir said that universalism and Western liberal concept of human rights would undermine Malaysian culture and religious belief. He has a broad vision for the country's well-being and prosperity, including restoring the country's dignity, developing it, and placing it on the global stage.
Hi, my name is Hannah. So we move to the Reformists and Liberals, which is figured by Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. He is the 5th Prime Minister of Malaysia, and he also known as the father of a human capital development. So here is the receptions of Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, which is Pak Lah. He want to focus on researching achievement in maintaining the balance and stability of his procedures to continue development plans. Next is Islam Hadri. So Islam Hadri is one among the Tun Abdullah's major contribution, which is to return Muslim to the essential principle of the Quran and Sunnah. It was punched as a moderate Islamic ideal throughout Tun Abdullah, and the representative of the people who serve as a significant from Tun Abdullah's administration are crucial in advising Islam Hadari program. Therefore, the foreign population view Malaysia as a role model for Islamic nations. Abdullah Ahmad Badawi has established the National Integrity Plan, which is intends to foster integrity and turn Malaysia into an ethnical society. It also serves as a catalyst for meeting the fourth challenge of our Vision 2020, which is to support integrity and turn Malaysia into an ethnical society. So throughout the mystery of knowledge in all sectors and the development of human capital, the national policy is aimed to enhancing the growth and quality of life of the community as a whole. So in order to combat corruption in the public and commercial sectors, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commissions, which is MACC, and the Business Facilitations Special Task Force, which is Pemuda, were founded and was established by Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. Among his top goals is to lessen power abuse and corruption. Last but not least is Tun Abdullah Ahmad Badawi has established the Economic Development Regions, which is the 5 Malaysian Economic Corridor.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Adlin Tasha. On to the presentation, I will continue with the next stage that was Malaysia Baru led by the 6th Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak. Datuk Seri Haji Muhammad Najib bin Tun Haji Abdul Razak was born on 23 July 1953. He was known as the eldest son of Tun Abdul Razak, who was Malaysia's second Prime Minister. Najib Razak became Malaysia Prime Minister in the year of 2009, and moreover, Najib Razak is the youngest member of Parliament history in the age of 22. For the era of development Malaysia, Najib Razak introduced several programs such as One Malaysia, Government Transformation Program GDP, New Economic Model, and Economic Transformation Program ETP. These programs have their own achievement that they want to achieve. Najib Razak introduced several programs that aim at improving economy's growth, living standard, as well as reducing unemployment and the cost of living of the people. Economic Transformation Act Program ETP was introduced to further boost economic growth and turn the economy into a high-income country. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Conclusion. For the first point is to make sure the country runs smoothly without any problems, and also have the authority to vote for the person they think is qualified to govern the government. Furthermore, for the second point, it is up to the people concerned, the supporting organizations, and the country elected leaders to consider and expand the above empirical evidence and develop a menu of political process reforms that can secure the foundations of democracy. Last but not least, for the third point, is the democratic system has given a positive impact on all parties fairly and truthfully determining their respective options to elect a leader who is worthy and by their wishes by ballot. That's all from us. Thank you.